Hey there, I'm Sal. Thanks for checking out the video. This weekend I've been trying to catch up on some maintenance on the truck that I've been missing, so I gave it a nice thorough wash. I did an oil change, some other little odds and ends inside that I've been meaning to do. And then I did a tire rotation, and I learned my lesson with my last set of tires. I didn't do that and ran into some cupping issues, and I needed to replace them way too early. So rotate your tires. And while I was doing that, I remembered I've been meaning to adjust the rear brake shoes for the drum brakes back here. They're just not grabbing when you first press the brakes. I'll kind of explain it in a second here. But yeah, we'll be readjusting them today. I'm not going to be replacing everything as long as the shoes still have enough life in them. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so the way I could tell that my drum brakes need to be readjusted is when I'm stopping and slowing down. When I press the brakes, it stops decently. But if I let my foot off a little bit and then press again, it stops a lot more for the same amount of pressure that I'm applying, if that makes sense. And in my mind, what's happening is, it's pushing all the fluid out, the front calipers are grabbing, but back here, the shoes are pushing out, but they're not touching it yet. So then you let it out, you push it again, more fluid gets back here, and then they finally touch back here, and that's when you get the good amount of stopping. So what we have to do is adjust them and push them out a little bit further. They're meant to be adjusted like this. You'll see it once you get back here. And it's just something you gotta do periodically. So if you're running into that where if you kind of pulsate your brakes and they get stronger, I've done it in the past and that was the solution, was readjusting these rear brakes. We'll see. Okay, so we'll be pulling off this ring. Is this called a rotor? I don't really know what this is called. We'll call it the rotor today in this video though. So we'll be pulling this off. You can see I have this hub-centric ring on here to adapt to my aftermarket wheels. So it'll make it so you can't pull it off by hand. Frankly, I don't think you'd be able to pull it off by hand anyways. But the solution there is to just have some of these bolts which thread into these two holes here. And when you do that, you tighten them down and it'll just do the whole press situation and it'll pull this thing off. So we'll do that now. And on the other side, I was able to press this hub-centric ring off at the same time by using these guys. So we'll see if we have the same luck on this side. Always do them by hand first so you're not cross-threading. And go back and forth. And yeah, it's working great. There's the ring. Now we can work this off by hand. And then under here you can see just how gross it is. This stuff is no joke, all this brake dust powder. Really try your best not to breathe it in. Maybe wear a mask. And I'm going to use some brake cleaner and just kind of clean up this whole thing a little bit. And I also found out maybe put some cardboard down because this brake dust just smears on the ground. You can eventually pick it up, but it just turns into a big mess. Okay, so getting kind of up close and personal, this is the main tensioner for this drum brake assembly here. You can see that this is like a toothed ring here, and then this piece locks into the teeth as they come around. It's a little bit hard to see on camera. You'll definitely see it in person. But you can see, if I go like this and tighten it, it goes tooth by tooth, and then this locks it in place. Hopefully you can hear that too. Where this just clicks into the next tooth, and every time that I click this down, this is actually spreading out little by little and pushing the brake shoes into that rotor that you saw that goes on the outside. So we'll just do this for a couple turns, stick the rotor back on and see how tight it is. And then if we have to readjust, we'll come back here and readjust more. So throwing this guy on, it's got a bit of a lip on it. So it makes it hard to get over the shoes, but then when it seats in, then there's a little bit more movement. So you'll see what I mean here in a second. You want to go on as straight as possible. Which is easier said than done. See all that dust? Oh, you don't want to breathe that in. But you can see there's no dragging. The other thing you want to be careful of is if the shoes are pressed out into this, like if you have your e-brake on or something, and then you do this to pull it off, it's just going to rip like that whole assembly out with it. And you're going to run into all sorts of other problems. So I guess just make sure you don't have your e-brake on. So we're definitely getting tighter. But I just want to go a little bit more. This will probably be where I call it anyways. I don't want to run into any issues of this lip like ripping these out or something. Last thing, we'll just throw the wheel back on. It might look silly doing it this way, but if you ever had to mount like a big wheel and tire, this is the best way because you get a good view of where you got to line up your holes and you can kind of like lift off of your legs. But yeah, we'll lock this guy down and then take it for a test drive, make sure we're still good to go. Okay, got the wheel back on. It's funny, in my mind I got so much done on the truck today, and this video seems really small because it's just about doing the rear drum brakes here. But I will be making more videos coming up. I know I've been slacking a little bit, but I've just been really busy with work, had some family stuff going on, some trips and stuff. So now that that's done, hopefully I can get back into a good swing of things, getting the videos up every other week. But yeah, the other thing is the truck's just been really reliable. I've had very few issues with it, so that's been great. I do plan on doing a steering refresh coming up here, and then I still haven't solved that frickin' like whine sort of for the first couple of minutes when this truck's been started up. So I'm thinking it might be the fan clutch pulley, which is a huge pain in the butt to do. You're basically doing a timing belt job. So we'll get to that when I get to it. But yeah, steering will be coming up soon, and I can't think off the top of my head any other things right now. But yeah, chugging along here. Hope you guys have all been doing well. And otherwise, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for subscribing, and have a great rest of your day.